Hey guys, I hope you're all having a great day, and today's video is going to be about how Respawn has officially said that content in the future might be slowing down, and this is regarding weapons and legends. As you know, with every single season that we get in Apex, the main sources of content in those new seasons falls into the categories of map changes or a new map, a new legend, and of course a new weapon. In the past, we've gotten these in abundance. For every single season in the past, we have gotten a new legend as well as a new map or a map change of some sort. For most of the seasons, we did get new weapons, but as we've noticed recently, that has started to slow down, and it seems like the same thing is going to be happening to legends as well. Basically, the problem that has arisen is that the weapon loot pool as well as the amount of legends there are already quite saturated, and simply put, having too many weapons or too many legends available is not necessarily very good for the game, despite what most people might feel about this. Sometimes having an abundance of characters in a game really doesn't work out that well, and I think a good example to showcase this is Rainbow Six Siege. Now, I'm not a super experienced Rainbow Six Siege player, but I did play quite a bit back in the day, and the thing about this game is that there are a ton of characters available, and similar to Apex Legends, every single character has a unique set of abilities. Now, from the matches that I have played recently, I've noticed that a ton of the new characters don't get picked nearly as much as a lot of the older characters, which basically means that eventually you'll hit a point where you really do start running out of abilities, or you start running out of ideas that are really significant to the game, meaning that the newer legends simply won't be as interesting as some of the older ones, or there's simply no need to pick the newer character compared to one that you already have played for quite a while. Now, at the moment in Apex, that's not necessarily the case. In fact, some of the newer legends actually have better pick rates than a lot of the older legends, and if we take a look at the pick rate chart right now, as you can see, newer legends like Valkyrie, Newcastle, and Ashe do still have higher pick rates than a lot of the original characters or the characters that came earlier than them, especially characters like Mirage, Caustic, Watson, and Crypto. Of course, a lot of this is simply shaped around how fun the character is to play depending on their abilities. A legend like Gibraltar simply isn't as fun to play compared to a legend like Octane, who can just stim and run around and do crazy stuff. But the point remains, at some point you're gonna start running out of very useful abilities to introduce into the game, and eventually your legends will become less and less significant. And Respawn definitely knows this. They also know this with the weapon pool. In this case, it's simply the fact that you don't want to add too many weapons to the weapon pool and oversaturate it. That's kind of bad for not only the RNG in the game, but also the meta as well. And so this is most likely one of the reasons as to why Respawn actually added a couple of weapons into the crafting rotation just to move them out of ground loot. Another good example of a weapon not arriving in the game when it should be is the Nemesis AR. A lot of people really were excited to see this come into the game in Season 13, but of course it ended up getting changed. It's coming in a later season. So it really does seem like Respawn is set on this path, but don't worry, while we won't be getting as many weapons and as many legends as we used to, that doesn't mean all forms of content will be slowing down in Apex, because there's still a lot of new items that can be introduced which also change up the meta. I'm sure most of you have seen some of these by now, but a new category of items is going to be entering the game in the future seasons, and this involves things like shield capacitors, ammo crates, and a whole lot more. I'm guessing Respawn is going to be introducing these types of things instead of legends and weapons, and they're going to use those to kind of change up the meta a bit and change up the playstyle a bit, as opposed to adding any new weapon or a new legend to try and shift up the meta. Either way, Respawn definitely has a plan to ensure that every single season has a sort of fresh feeling to it, and that it's not just the same old thing over and over and over again, but we'll have to wait and see how they end up doing this. I'll be ending the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course, as always guys, stay safe, and I'll see ya in the next one. Peace out.